Begin in Sweden with trade talks between China and the United States. China says a tariff pause has been extended with the U.S. Ken Brown reports from Stockholm.
Well, talks have concluded here in Stockholm between China and the United States, with another extension agreed in principle to conduct further negotiations. The delegation spoke from around 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Swedish Prime Minister's residence right here behind me, and then they both held press conferences. No major breakthroughs were announced, no done deals of the likes that we've already seen with Great Britain, Japan, and most recently the European Union.
With me now to discuss the second day of trade talks is Liu Baocheng. He is director of the Center for International Business Ethics at the University of International Business and Economics in Beijing. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
First, I'd like to get your reaction to what we just heard from China's trade representative. And how does China view these talks overall?
China views these talks as the in-depth, candid, and constructive because after the Geneva and London talks, certain consensus have already been reached, and China reiterated principles on the peaceful coexistence, on win-win, and on mutual respect. And it seems that it's being carried on in the understood principles. And now, both sides are really engaging on continuous basis to de-escalate such a sort of tension. It gives certain comfort to not only to the Chinese political leadership, but also to the Chinese business community. And now, when the global supply chain is facing an enormous risk of fragmentation in the world, and also the WTO is almost getting paralyzed because the major economies are really swaying from their commitments, and now the two biggest economies are engaged with each other to prevent the triple-digit type of retaliation against each other. That's going to be able to create a healthy and stable relationship between the two biggest economies and give more of a relief to the global business community, which are really dependent on the relationship between China and United States at this critical moment. And now there's also geographical, geopolitical confrontations going on in more parts of the world. So therefore, a stabilization based on de-escalation of constructive talks would be more important to be understood.
Yeah, you said constructive. What does this extension, this agreement by both sides to an extension signal? I mean, the willingness to keep this conversation going.
Well, both sides are willing to de-escalate, but China and the U.S., the two biggest economies, with the close interdependence of trade, investment, and many other fronts. So it needs more time to really to iron out. It seems that Donald Trump has created a sort of template by negotiating with many other trading partners, the tariff, the invest in America and buy more America. But this type of template does not really fit China at the moment. So therefore, it requires far longer time to work out a mutually acceptable agreements on both sides. China can really buy more of the U.S. goods, but in the meanwhile, U.S. has to relax restrictions, particularly on the tech products and other type of services. And China is also willing to invest more into the United States, but the U.S. will have to, provide some sort of assurance to China, particularly to the Chinese business people, that there is the less political scrutiny over their investment, but over certain other issues. I think China also needs to ponder over, particularly over the possible secondary tariff over purchase of Russian energy products, etc. So I think a pause or extension of such, it can really bring the more of the considerations so that both sides can really work out something that is reciprocal and balanced and also more concrete in that regard.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent called the talks far-reaching, robust, and highly satisfactory. Does that description bode well for future discussions? Does it appear that the U.S. side is really eager to make something happen?
Well, I think the U.S. is now under, the negotiators are under pressure from the White House as, how they can really achieve, because there is, the floated commitment that, the White House needs to iron out the major trade deals with most of the trading partners in 90 days, so they are under high pressure. On the other hand, China is also eager to really cease fire and to seek a more balanced and healthy relationship with the United States, because after all, U.S. is a major trading partner with China, and also there are so many U.S. businesses that are being hosted in China that are looking forward to some of the predictable relationship. And now, but China will also stick to its own principle of the mutual respect and win-win situation, because the China will not really look to the world that they are going to have an imbalanced approach by capitulating to the U.S. demands. So therefore, there has to be some sort of reciprocity across all major concessions on each side. So therefore, the situation will be more stabilized, and the China and U.S. will come up with some of the major the constructive deals. Hopefully, when both of the top leaders are able to meet, and then they can really seal the deal.
All right, a lot to look forward to. Liu Baocheng, thank you so much for joining us from Beijing.